And welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers get the dub. They pound the Padres. They win by a final score of 11-2. The Dodgers continue to dominate San Diego. They continue to get right for this postseason run. I think the big story tonight, though, has to be Kyle Hurd. Kyle was hurting him there. You saw tonight. You saw that filthy changeup. You saw that electric fastball. We're going to break down his big league debut. We're going to talk about Will Smith, who appears to be getting back on track. It was the birthday boy to Freddie Freeman. The birthday boy, Freddie Freeman. He came through in a big way. Freddie was fantastic once again. The Dodgers, their magic number is now down to 4. Down to 4. The Dodgers improved to 88-56 on the year. 13 games up on the Arizona Diamondbacks in the NL West. And as always, we are brought to you by our friends over at Jim Beam. Your home with Jim Beam and Dodgers Nation. Please drink responsibly. But you guys know I'm always looking for that Dodgers Nation comment of the game. And if I see one of those, you're going to see one of these.
Fire take.
It's a fire take. You're going to see one of these.
You win. Perfect.
But how about the Dodgers' dominance over the Padres? It just does not stop. This year, 9-3 over San Diego, and they've outscored them by a 74-47 margin. They're 23-8 over San Diego since 2022. Last 3 years, 35-15. Since 2017, 42-16. That is how dominant the Dodgers have been over the Padres in the regular season. Of course, you know what happened last year, but hey, we forgot all about that. But how about the fact that this team has found something in Kyle Hurd? Really, the rest of this game, we're talking about Lance Lynn's start, and I think you hear people building up, oh, Lance Lynn had a good start, this and that. Yeah, he was serviceable. He definitely was. Went 7 innings. It was gutsy. 7 innings allowed 2 runs on 5 hits through 111 pitches, 3 strikeouts. If you look at his expected numbers, his expected FIP was over 5. Not a ton of strikeouts. If you look at the swing and miss, got 11 swinging strikes, but he was keeping the ball down. His misses weren't as bad today, so that definitely is a positive step in the right direction. And look, at this point, you want to ride him like a rented mule, right? You want to drive him like he's a rented car. You want to get as many pitches, as many innings out of Lance Lynn as you possibly can. That way you don't have to further tax the bullpen, especially after what happened last night. And you want to keep these starting pitchers and these young guys as fresh as possible for this postseason run. But to me, tonight, Lance Lynn's start, it doesn't change my opinion on him for the postseason. I think you look at some of the pitches he made. I mean, if you look at the fact that he did get out of that bases loaded jam with no outs, just gave that 1 run, which was a very silly bunt there by Grisham. He pretty much given up the out there for 1 run. So, yeah, it definitely was gutsy. He's able to do that, and you give him credit for that. But to me, the stuff just isn't good enough. But what do you guys think of Lance Lynn? Give me your grade for Lance Lynn tonight. I will give him a solid B. A solid B, there's no doubt about it. Gives the B. But I need to see more strikeouts. I need more dominant stuff if you're going to impress me to the point where I can say, okay, you're going to be a game changer in October. Because the reality is that stuff is not going to play up in the postseason. It's going to play down in the postseason. Like I said, you look at the final line, you could see, okay, 2 runs in 7 innings. The results speak for itself. But, yeah, the expected numbers were much higher than that. They were north of 5. But B- for Lance Lynn. That's from Sailor. We got Eric Kwan gives Lance Lynn a B. We got Carlos Aravilaga gives happy birthday, Freddie. Go ahead. Let's go, Dodgers. Dun, 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 dun. Fraud race back to earth. That $20 from my man Martin Enrique Raúles, J Bullet TC. Hey, D-Mac, Freddie Freeman has the same birthday as me. Happy birthday, J Bull. Yeah, how about Freddie Freeman? What more can you say about this guy? He's been outstanding as a Dodger. He's been one of the best players in all of Major League Baseball. When it comes to overall production, if you look at his numbers across the board, hits, weighted runs created plus, this guy has been elite in every sense of the word. And tonight, he goes 4 for 5, 2 RBI, has a home run there in the 3rd inning, his 26th of the year. That was off Waka. And He had 1 on, 1 out, so that goes as a 2-run shot. And then later he's able to get that double, his 55th double of the year off of Rich Hill. So 2 more extra base hits for Fredericks of Hollywood. And now that brings his extra base total on the year to 83. So he just 1 away from tying the LA Dodgers franchise record. Sean Green had 84 in 2001. Cody Bellinger had 84 in 2019. Now the overall franchise record dating all the way back to Brooklyn was set by Babe Herman back in the late 20s, who had 94 extra base hits. Freddie's currently on pace for 93. So if he picks that pace up, Freddie Freeman could end up having the most extra base hits in a single season in Dodgers franchise history. And then we got the doubles. By the way, everyone give me a Freddie dance down below in the comment section. Give me a little Freddie dance, a little happy birthday to Freddie Freeman, who I think will go down as one of, if not the best signing in Andrew Friedman's time, his tenure with the Los Angeles Dodgers. But 55 doubles, that's right up there in the top 20, and he's closing in on being the first guy, the first player to have 60 doubles in a season since 1936. Has been done since Charlie Gehringer, and the all-time record goes to Earl Webb, who had 67. So yeah, Freddie Freeman's been outstanding. He turned 33 today, and he's someone who, he's baseball's version of fine wine. He just gets better with age, and we're so happy to have him in Dodger blue. He's been a seamless fit here, and he's been nothing but productive since putting on that blue. But next best sign is Shohei Ohtani. That's from Showtime fans over on YouTube. Padres are insufferable. Reminds me of the McGregor meme in celebrating last place Orlando. Look, it's the Padres, man. Enjoy that NLDS last year. Enjoy that, because, look, that's all you're going to get, okay? The reality is you don't get a trophy, you don't get a ring for winning the offseason. You don't get a trophy, you don't get a ring for winning the trade deadline, getting all these brand names. So the Dodgers, they're not thinking about the Padres. Their Padres are obsessed with the Dodgers, but the Dodgers, they don't care about the Padres. That's just the reality of the situation. The Dodgers know that their standard is the World Series, and anything else is going to be considered a failure. And the Dodgers, they straight up took this division when so many pundits, so many experts, quote unquote, picked the Padres. You guys know I didn't. I had the Dodgers winning this division by 5 games and winning a 97 on the year. Fire Gavin Stone. That's from Nando 390. Kyle Hurt for Dodger Dog of the Game. Who is your Dodger Dog of the Game? Just a reminder, the Dodger Dog of the Game doesn't mean it's the player of the game, but the Dodger that had the most dog. Here you go, the Dodger Dog of the Game.
Dodger Dog of the Game.
Jason Dime, your boy Hog, is having a depressing show after tonight's game. Hey, if you look at the year they've had, how much they've struggled in one-run games, going 6 in 22 and one-run games, 0 for 11. Now I guess they got 1 for 12 in extra innings games. The Dodgers, they gave them one. You talk about not the Dodgers, but you look at their score in extra innings, it's just bad. This Padres team, they're going to go down in history as one of the biggest disappointments, not just in Major League Baseball history, but in all of sports history. When you look at the talent up and down that roster, when you consider the acquisitions they made, when you consider that A.J. Preller pushed all those chips in the middle of the table, and they are going to get bounced. They're going to be 1-2-3 Cancun very soon, while the Dodgers are punching their ticket to another dance, and the Dodgers are about to make the postseason for the 11th straight season. If you ever get jaded about what the Dodgers do, making the postseason every year, look at this Padres team, okay? They're a team that they thought they were going to have a big year. The Dodgers, same old, dead taxes and winning the NL West. So you got to feel good about that. But the first big takeaway tonight, the number one thing I'm taking away from this game, it's not Freddie Freeman being outstanding on his birthday. It's not Will Smith having a very, very strong night. We're going to talk about Will Smith. I think it's very important. It's not anything else. Lance Lynn, we'll talk more about him. It is Kyle Hurt. I said it a few weeks ago. If you guys have been watching all these shows, I've been hinting at the possibility of Kyle Hurt being called up, and there was a reason why I was doing that. I can't always say things without saying things, but if you listen closely, you can kind of get a sense of things like this. And Kyle Hurt is someone who was very, very impressive tonight. I think you look at his line, and how could you not be impressed? He goes 2 innings, allowed no hits, no runs, no walks, had 3 punch-outs. The most impressive part of his performance tonight, though, was he threw 24 pitches and 19 for strikes. So he was pounding the zone. He was confident in his fastball. The changeup is absolutely dirty. It's nastier than a gas station bathroom, and you saw that on display. And I think what was very impressive, too, was just look at the situation. Yes, the Dodgers were up big at the time. It was as low of a leverage situation as you possibly could see. But he goes into this game and just look at who he faced. I mean, he faced Tatis, Soto, and Machado, right? And he made light work. I mean, he gets Tatis to fly out to second, just soft contact, using that changeup, pounding the zone. Next batter gets ahead of Soto with 2 changeups, hit his spot down in the zone. He fouls off the third pitch on a 97-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball. Then the fourth pitch of the at-bat goes with that changeup again, gets him to ground out, soft contact, light work. And then next batter, Manny Machado, 1-0 pitch, falls behind, fastball down the zone the first pitch, but then comes back and gets him to ground out with another changeup. So look at those 3 right there to start your big league career, going up against Tatis, who, it's not like he was on the ringworm stuff, but he's still one of the better hitters, one of the better players in the game. Then you got Soto, one of the best hitters in the game, and then Manny Machado. You got to give him a lot of credit in that situation. So, yeah, very happy for Mr. Kyle Hurt, and I think that he's someone who is going to factor into this bullpen. I really do think that. I really do believe. I said it on the show last night. If you guys watched the show, I said, look for 2 guys, Nick Frasso and Kyle Hurt. And I think it's time to get weird. It's time to roll with the rookies. I think if you juxtapose Lance Lynn and Kyle Hurt, what do you see? You see one guy pumping 97. You see one guy that has a lot of tread on those tires, who's still green, who's still raw. But I think that, hey, why not see what these guys can have? When it comes to pure stuff, focus on the stuff, focus on the talent level. And Kyle Hurt, Nick Frasso, some of these younger guys, Emmett Sheehan, I mean, these guys have a lot of upside, and that's what plays up in the postseason. I definitely think that when you consider the expectations at this point, when you consider the uncertainty of a Mr. Clayton Edward Kershaw, what happened to Julio Urias, his situation where his locker's cleared out, he'll never pitch for the Dodgers again. When you look at the expectations where they are, where the Walker Buehler's not returning, I think when you look at how we are trending as far as the youth movement's concerned, I think you roll with the rookies, you see what you got in these guys, and who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, I think that is really my biggest takeaway. Is Kyle Hurt looks like he's going to be a dude. Of course, a USC Trojan. The Dodgers got him in the Dylan Floro trade when they traded him to the Miami Marlins for Alex Vest, and they got Kyle Hurt. So we got $5 from Jose Ayala D-Mac. I believe the Dodgers' performance for playoffs will depend on how hot they finish the end of the season. That's a great point. I mean, you definitely want to head into the postseason with some momentum, and that's absolutely key. So, yeah, you absolutely want that. I mean, you definitely want to get guys in a groove, and, of course, the Dodgers will be division winners. They'll have one of those 2 buys, right? So I think you definitely just want to get your work in and try to formulate a different strategy, because whatever they did last year as far as the scrimmage games, it just did not work. I do think, though, this team is different. I think you look at the veterans, you got Rosario, you got Kike, you got Hayward, you got a nice mix of elite talent, you got veterans, you got James Outman, who has really turned himself to an incredible rookie. My preseason bold prediction on James Outman was 25 home runs and 800 OPS and top 3 rookie of the year finish. I need him to hit 6 more home runs. I got to get selfish about that, and I need him to raise an OPS by 4 points. But, yeah, he has been, all jokes aside, he has been really, really good. So, yeah, you got to give him a lot of credit, and I think that this team has to get hot. You're 100% right, and that's just kind of the nature of Major League Baseball. And the good thing is you're seeing positive signs, right? You are seeing signs of, okay, can we trust Mookie to be hot? I think we can. How about Freddie? I think we can. It's those other guys. It's the other guys that, even though we know they are good players, even though we've seen them have success, you can't guarantee they're going to be hot. But Max Muncy, he's been really good of late. He had that extra base hit streak of 9 games, tied a franchise record. You've seen the success that he's had. Defensively, a different story. But tonight, Max Muncy, let's step into that box score. Let's step into the box. Check out the box score. Freddie Freeman goes 4 for 5. Mookie 0 for for 3. But a big takeaway, the third thing you need to know, first thing, Lance Lynn tonight pitched well, 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, only 3 strikeouts. To me, it doesn't change my opinion of Lance Lynn that much. Did pitch better tonight, but nothing to say, okay, this is someone that has regained my trust in the postseason. He is not back in the trust tree, right? And then the second big takeaway, of course, Kyle Hurt. The third one, though, Will Smith is definitely showing some signs of life. So he's definitely looking more like the Will Smith that we saw in the first half that made his first All-Star team. He goes 2 for 3. 3 RBI, just absolutely cranked a bomb in this one. Got to give Smitty a ton of credit for just staying back, hitting that bomb, and he also hit a double. So 2 extra base hits tonight for Will Smith. So that's definitely a sign that he's ready and he's hopefully going to be locked in the postseason, because you've seen him have postseason success. You saw in 2020, Game 5, that home run, Will Smith off Will Smith. That was pivotal. But look, the reality is the second half for Will Smith, it just hasn't been good. I mean, he has not looked like the guy. I mean, just post All-Star game, Will Smith has a 727 OPS, a 257 batting average, 12 doubles, 5 home runs. I mean, for Will Smith, those are pedestrian numbers, right? But on the flip side, it does look like he's improving and looking like the Will Smith that we know him to be. By the way, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. If you want us to continue with the giveaways, hit those like buttons, guys. Helps out the channel. And we got a lot of surprise giveaways in store for you guys all throughout the postseason. I got the green bill in my hat, so it's a little dissolving. But Rich Hill on waivers, want him? No, to be honest. I mean, I'd love to have him around. It'd be great. But Rich Hill's pitched for 13 teams. Pretty much the Ish Smith of Major League Baseball. So, yeah, no. Hello, D-Mac. Hello, Carnivorous Lunar Activity. Happy birthday to Frederick is him, Freeman. Jim Griffey Jr., that's a Hornitos. Comment of the game. 9:51 here, D-Mac. What up, Nick? What up, D-Mac Daddy? What up, David Sabatini? We had 99 cents from Guillermo Beltran, a slice of pink birthday cake with purple icing and a candle. I love it. Conservative Zach, Freddie Freeman is the Dodger dog of the game. That's from Conservative Zach. We'll give you the Dodger dog of the game. Birthday boy Freddie, Dodger dog of the game. Got to be the birthday boy. Yeah, Freddie Freeman, I mean, he was outstanding once again. I mean, this is just another day for Freddie Freeman. But, yeah, let's continue to break down this game. The bottom of the first inning, kind of get into it. Freddie Freeman hits a 1-out single to center. Will Smith, he doubled to left. Freeman advanced to third. And the next batter, Max Muncy, hits a sac fly to center to make it 1-0 Dodgers. So that's what you want from this team. You want them to get on top early. You want them to set the tone. That's what this team does. And having Max Muncy get that sac fly, you got to feel good about that. And seeing that double, that slug from Will Smith, the exit velo getting better. So that's definitely a very, very positive sign for this Dodgers team. But, yeah, they get 1 run there in the first. They jump to the bottom of the third inning. How about Kike Hernandez, a single to center? Really nice piece of hitting there. Just kind of hits the shortstop and then ball just kind of dies there, but he's able to get on base. So hits a 1-out single. The next batter bets, he flies to right. And then first pitch to Freddie Freeman. He hits a bomb to left center. Boom! A Freddie bomb. 2-run shot, is 26 of the year. That makes it 3-0 Dodgers. And then Will Smith, he walks. Max Muncy walks. Martinez walks. It was Walker for Michael Walker out there. And they ended up with 3 straight walks, Smith, Muncy, and Martinez. And bases loaded, Peralta, he grounded to a fielder's choice to score Smith to make it 4-0 LA. So, yeah, you would like to see more runs there, but still the fact you get the 2-run bomb, the walks, you kind of working that pitch count up. Obviously, you want to have more success there and do more damage, but still were able to score some runs there. And then top of the fourth inning, we'll get to that in a second here. But first, let's jump back in the comment section. We got Lorenzo, 499, Lance Lynn, DD.D. He battled and gave our pen a night off. Yeah, absolutely. Give the Dodger dog of the game. I like that. I'm going to start the hashtag with that. Look, I mean, got to give Lance Lynn a lot of credit. I mean, this guy battles. This guy gives it everything he has every single time he steps out there on the mound. Like I've said in the past, he's someone that was going to help this team regardless because of the innings pitched. I mean, another 7 innings, that adds up. And if you can keep these arms as fresh as possible, it shows itself late in series. If they get to the NLCS, if they get to the World Series, you can look back and say, okay, giving guys a night off, not having to use those high leverage guys when you have nothing to prove. That's nothing to consider too, is that, yeah, it's the Padres World Series because they're going to be in Cancun while the Dodgers are in the postseason. You have to realize that there's nothing to pitch for guys like Evan Phillips, even though last night it wasn't Evan Phillips's best game. We know that, but gave them multiple home runs. But still, I mean, look, we know that guys like Evan Phillips, Brusdar Graterol, if you can keep these guys fresh as possible, it's going to bode well for the postseason. Got to leave some tread on those tires. We need Smith to get going. And that's definitely what we saw tonight. You saw Will Smith have a much better night. Smitty is someone who I don't worry too much about. I mean, I think if there's a few guys on this team that you look at their work ethic, their track record, their ability to come through in big spots. I mean, look, we call him the clutch prince of Bel Air, right? He's someone who's had big hits and big moments in the past, and I think for him, it's just kind of adjusting. I mean, you're seeing pitchers attacking with fastballs up and away, so he has to really make those adjustments and find a way, I think, more to right field, kind of go to all fields. Don't be so pull happy. But I do think, though, for him, he's locking in. I do think there's some fatigue. I think another factor with Will Smith is you look at the fact that you have a designated hitter in J.D. Martinez for a good chunk of this season, a backup catcher that offensively, even though he has picked it up of late, he's been better lately for the majority of the year, was one of, and some nights, the worst, least productive players in the league as far as what they can do with the stick. So, yeah, I think when you consider that, the kind of year that he's had, I think that Will Smith, he's timing his peak properly. I think he'll look back and kind of learn from this season just kind of how to gauge and manage the wear and tear of playing that catcher spot. Because, I mean, there is nothing more grueling than being a catcher in Major League Baseball. Since I am Will Smith, I can speak to that. Hurt, don't it? I like that. Andy, it's a fire take.
Fire take.
Lance Lynn gives up another homer. Trust factor is an issue. Hurt is our K-Rod. I like that. That's a great comp right there. Joe Durango. Yeah, look, the thing about Kyle Hurt is, look, the rub on him at the minor league level is he's ascended. He's put in the work. As far as improvement goes, as far as his command goes, he's improved a lot. And he's also made the transition from AA to AAA, and he's done it well. And if you look at his success this year, he's 25 years old, went to SC, like I said, and he has absolutely taken his game to the next level. I mean, 2 levels, a 3.87 ERA with 145 strikeouts. 145. I mean, and 41 walks and 88 in the third inning. So you're talking about a 39% strikeout rate and a 28% strikeout minus walk rate. So those are the tops in minor league baseball among all pitchers with at least 80 innings. So that's elite. That's elite. I mean, you're talking about someone who's posted elite stats at the minor league level, and I think he deserves this opportunity. Like I said, 2 perfect innings from him. Goes 1, 2, 3. Faces the heart of that Padres lineup. And look, I mean, I think that was impressive. I mean, that was more impressive than Carl Hubble striking out Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Fox in the All-Star game. But no, I'm just playing. But still, Kyle Hurt, you got to give him a lot of credit. I mean, he was ready. I think it was a nice soft landing for him, too. I think that you kind of trade off, okay, give this guy some confidence early. Yes, it's a blowout, but still, those are guys that still want to go up there and do damage as a professional hitter. So lots of credit. I definitely think that for the last couple of weeks, if you're looking for storylines when your team is probably not going to finish with the best record in the National League, they're running away with the NL West. If you're looking for storylines, how will these young pitchers fare down the stretch? Who is going to factor in to this bullpen? Because it's starting to take shape, and they get another big development tomorrow with Joe Kelly. Now, Joe Kelly's been out, has that inflammation, but Joe Kelly, he was back at Dodger Stadium today, and he's expected to be activated tomorrow. So he was scheduled to. That's something that you really have to feel good about, because Joe Kelly, he's as nasty as he's ever been. Velocity, strikeouts. I mean, you're talking about someone who is having a career year as far as his strikeout rate. You're seeing pump gas in. I'm just hoping for Joe Kelly's sake, for the Dodgers' sake, that he can come back fresh as possible and just absolutely go on a tear, go on a heater throughout the postseason. I want to see a lights-out Joe Kelly like we saw in 2018 when he went on that run. But down below in the comment section, Lynn was good today as well. Mr. Marty Mart D-Mac. What up, Mr. Marty Mart? Lynn. Lynn. That's from Mr. Mike. Lynn owns San Diego, but owns no one else. That's from Sam Vasquez. 499 from Dodge Dog of the game is Lance. He battled and gave the pen the night out from Lorenzo. Appreciate that, man. That's going right towards the Ohtani fund. By the way, I dropped a new video on Shohei Ohtani, the latest Ohtani rumors. You can find that over on our YouTube channel, so definitely check that out. Some new, fresh developments there, and I do think there's a really good chance he still gets a contract north of $500 million. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I see a lot of people talking about Will Smith down the comment section, and that definitely is one of the bigger takeaways tonight, is Will Smith having that success and building off of that's going to be huge, because you need a hot Will Smith. It can't be just Freddie and Mookie. It can't be just a two-man gang right there. You need a three-headed monster. You need the 1 through 6 to come through. JD Martinez, he came through tonight. How about there in the fourth inning? So the fourth inning, bottom of the fourth. So Kike, he reached on that 1-out single to second, and Betts struck out swinging for the second out. Then Freddie Freeman, he singled to right. Then 0-1 pitch. Will Smith, he is legend. He homers to center for a 3-run shot to make it 7-2 Dodgers. So, yeah, I mean, you'd probably like to see more from that after. But, yeah, great job by Will Smith going up there, hitting that bomb. By the way, nice catch by that fan. Great job making that catch right there, man. He definitely brought his glove. He knew all those tarp seats there right in center field. He knew that he was going to go and have an opportunity, and he definitely did just that. So that's absolutely big, and see a lot of love for Lance Lynn. Yeah, I mean, he was cruising. I mean, there was a stretch in this game before he had retired 11 of 12 before that Muncy error there in the 7th inning. But still, I mean, he did a really, really nice job going out there, eating innings. He was avoiding the heart of the plate. He was keeping the ball down. You saw nice movement on that sinker tonight, but just not a ton of strikeouts. And you look at his last few starts, you're just not seeing those strikeout numbers where they need to be. But still, like I said, going out there giving 7 innings is big. But let's go down below in the comment section. We got USC legend talking about Kyle Hurt, fight on baby. Nicholas, that's from Justin Kim. Go Dodgers. My internet stopped working. This game's from BC. Well, that's not good. We'll fill you in. Victor Banos, roll the dice in the postseason with the youth movement with the pitchers. Yeah, Victor Banos, we are absolutely on the same page there. I've been saying that for weeks now. I mean, roll with the rookies at this point with these expectations. At the very least, you get the experience. At the best, if everything works out, you found guys. You found stars. You have made it easier to assemble your roster moving forward. If Emmett Sheehan looks like a guy, if Kyle Hurt looks like a guy, if Ryan Pepe looks like a guy, if these guys step up and perform, it's going to change the way you go about constructing this roster in the offseason. It's going to help you determine how many guys you need to get. You need to explore trades. You need to sign veterans. So at the very least, I think you look at this as, okay, this is the ultimate evaluation assessment period. And like I said, I think there is less pressure on this team, probably the least amount of pressure than there's been in the last 5-6 years. And maybe this is the year. Like I said, we've done the 111 win team. It didn't work. You won one game. You got bounced in the first round. We've done the Zach Greinke, Clayton Kershaw, peak prime, start of the rotation, front of the rotation. It did not work. We did 106 wins when it was a franchise record in 2019. It did not work. So maybe the year where you don't expect something big from the Dodgers is the year they come through, like the Sweethearts in 1988, that special season with the Oral Hershiser-led Los Angeles Dodgers and Kirk Gibson. Michael Puma, hey, Doug, what do you expect from Joe Kelly when he returns? I'm hoping he picks up where he left off. I mean, if he returns, maybe you can throw a Tatis again. No, I'm just playing. I don't want to see that. But, yeah, you want to see a guy that you can use in high-leverage situations. I think you look at the top three there. I think it's Evan Phillips, Brusdar Graterol, and Joe Kelly. If Joe Kelly's right, he definitely ascends towards being a high-leverage top guy that you can trust in those situations. That's how good he's been. Don't think of Joe Kelly in 2019. Don't think of the Joe Kelly that you saw when he was dealing with the shoulder issues, when he said that he would wake up in the middle of the night and it felt like ants were eating his shoulder. That Joe Kelly has been surgically repaired, and he's throwing faster and harder than ever. You look at the velocity numbers, they're up. The strikeout numbers are up. And he's someone that I think is going to factor in a big way. Also, too, the experience. I mean, he's been there, done that. He's been there, won that, right? His experience with the Boston Red Sox, his experience with this Dodgers team going deep into that postseason series and having all the success that he's had. And I think that he's ready to come back healthy and have a big role. So I absolutely anticipate him being a high leverage guy for this Dodgers team. Like I said, this is a Joe Kelly who you guys know I was pushing for, and I wasn't doing it out of sentimental reasons. I was doing it because he's throwing faster than ever. He's averaging 98.9 miles per hour on that four-seam fastball, 99 miles per hour on that sinker. Just to put that into context, last year he was averaging 97.7 miles per hour on that four-seam fastball and 97.9 on that sinker. So his velocity has gone up, and he was already a flamethrower. And also, you love the pitch mix. You love the fact that you see the change of the knuckle curve, the slider. I mean, this is someone that has a deep bag. He can go with these different clubs when he needs them. So definitely think that you're going to see a heavy dose of Joe Kelly. You just want him to stay healthy. I mean, you also saw that just overnight, just one play, one pitch, he can be done, right? I mean, you saw in the 2021 NLCS that he was out after that bicep strain. So, yeah, it's always touch and go with Joe Kelly, but the reality is that when he is healthy, he's good. And this year, he's been really, really good when he's been on the mound. If you look at his expected numbers and some of his advanced stuff, I mean, the ERA, don't get caught up too much with that. I'll tell you that scouts don't even use ERA anymore. But he always pitches good against San Diego. Talk about Lynn. Phillies ERA was the 18th last year before their World Series run. We are 15th this year. No reason we can't replicate that with a better ending in the World Series, BC. Yeah, I think you bring up a fantastic point, and that everyone focuses on pitching, but one, you're looking at the Braves team, right? I mean, that was the most you've seen a bullpen in a postseason run, right? I mean, you look at the one we saw in 2021, right? And you look at some of these teams that aren't going heavy. Of course, if you have a Corbin Burns, right? If you have a top-heavy rotation, the Phillies even with Aaron Nola, right? I mean, you have a top-heavy rotation. You want to ride that, but it's increasingly becoming a bullpen game. And what it comes down to is, can you avoid those cold spells with your offense? Are we going to see an over 20 slump with runners in scoring position like we saw last year against the Padres? Are we going to see 5 for 34? If you look at 2020, why'd they win that World Series? Yeah, they had some pitchers that had their moments. Julio Urias late in those games. Kershaw didn't pitch well in the NLCS, right? I mean, they didn't have 3 dominant starters. Even Julio's as a starter wasn't lights out in Game 4 of the World Series, right? So I think that what they did do, Corey Seager, he always put the ball in play, and he had base knocks and big hits, and they outslugged opponents with runners in scoring position. So you got to catch fire, and I'm looking for this offense to step up and carry this team. So here you go. D-Mac, I agree with your assessment of Lance Lynn. Still don't trust him in the postseason. Yeah, I don't trust him. I wouldn't. I do think there's a universe where if you're in a 7-game series, right, and especially if you get ahead in that series, yeah, I could see Lance Lynn with his experience getting the opportunity. I absolutely could, and you have him on a short leash, and if it's not his night, then you kind of go to the bullpen. But if you see him grinding out starts like we saw today, I mean, this is a guy who had a 16 strikeout game earlier this year. If you look at his strikeout numbers, they were up, but that's the big concern for me of late, is that those strikeout numbers have absolutely plummeted. Classic Cap says Will Smith smacked that ball like it was Chris Rock. So you know you're going to get the bruh for that one. But you also know that I love it. I love all you guys for rocking with us on this show, the Dodgers Nation post-game show. But let's go down below. BC, we got Hurt Russell. I like that. Andre Medina, that's a fire take. BC, we got from 22nd in batting average to top 10, knocking on the door of top 5, and our OPS has always been top 3. BC, yeah, I mean, you know me, more weighted runs created plus more OPS, but I think batting average is important in that in the postseason, sometimes you just don't want to get absolutely shoved against. You don't want to have those moments where, like we saw Game 6 when Blake Snell was dealing, and only gave those 2 hits. Or when you saw Strasburger, these guys go out there and just completely dominate you. So to me, putting the ball in play and just a single here and there, that can open things up. So for sure. What's up, Conservative Zach? Always rock with us, man. I appreciate you, my guy. We got I trust D-Mac Jr. Where's D-Mac Jr., man? He's supposed to be in bed. I read him a story a couple a couple hours ago. Fight on. Kyle Hurt just sent Gavin Stone to Rancho Cucamonga. That's from Nando 390. Nando, yeah, this isn't the year for Gavin Stone. The reality is he was brought up too early. Let's just be honest about that. Now that we're going to be hindsight hyenas about everything. So yeah, he was brought up too early, and at the time, he didn't have a third pitch, man. He just didn't. And you're not going to get by with the fastball changeup, especially when you're not locating that fastball. So you need to see him, the sinker, the cutter. I mean, he needs to go back to work. He definitely needs to develop a little more before you can feel good about him. He has a lot to figure out, but still the potential is there. But yeah, I mean, make no mistake about it. It's been really, really bad for Gavin Stone. I mean, that's kind of one of the narratives this year I kind of want to bring up, to be honest. I mean, you look at the start of this season, who was the big position player, right? It was Miguel Vargas, my guy, Miggy Varg. He didn't work out. And then James Albin, he did. And you look at the pitching side, Gavin Stone, minor league pitcher of the year, he was supposed to be the guy. Didn't work out. It ended up being Bobby Miller. So those other guys, even though Bobby Miller was the top pitching prospect, Gavin Stone was supposed to be the guy that was more big league ready, but that certainly was not the case. And Gavin Stone, he's been historically bad this year. He allowed 7 runs on 9 hits yesterday. It was the 4th time in 5 starts he allowed more runs than innings pitched. So you look at his production and how he's fared on the mound. 29 runs, 28 earned on 42 hits in 23 in the third innings of work. That's a 10.8 ERA. 42 hits in that span. So, yeah, Stoner, got to go back to work. This is not it. I do not expect him to be a part of that postseason rotation. But the Stone will be back next year. He just needs more AAAs from Steve Elias over on YouTube. Devontae Johnson, the Padres postgame fan shows losing it about Grisham, bunting with the bases loaded. Yeah, wasn't the funniest thing ever? I mean, thank you very much, Trent Grisham. I mean, you got to be kidding me in that situation. Bases loaded. You got nothing to lose. Lance Lynn, I mean, how pathetic is that? You know, I like Big Bunsen, I can't not lie, but not in that situation. He was trying to get too cute. When you try to get too cute, I mean, what is it? Are you too cute? Are you afraid to hit off of Lance Lynn? Lance Lynn, I mean, I'd be out there looking for a 91, 92 mile per hour heater out over the plate, extra base hit. I would have hit one in the gap, and the Padres would have scored a couple runs. That's just me personally. But for them to, Grisham to hit that bunt right there, yeah, that was kind of a microcosm of that Padres season. A big time head scratcher. What was your guys' reaction to that, though? Very interested to get your reaction for that bunt right there, and then you get out of that inning. So, yeah, you got to feel really good about that. And, yeah, it's kind of a bonehead play there. I mean, obviously, that was that was the move, right? I don't think he went rogue. But, yeah, I mean, let's go back down below in the comment section. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. What was the final score? I missed the game. The Dodgers, they pound the Padres. They beat them by a final score of 11-2. By the way, they've outscored them this season 74-47 and are 9-3 against the the Padres this year. Hurt is perfect for the Dodgers. Dodgers are always hurt. Okay, that's a finish him.
Finish him.
Hurt will put, we got the Muncy is a DH, no more fielding. Yeah, I mean, that's another big takeaway from tonight. What we learned is the instincts of a Max Muncy. The defense could absolutely be a problem. It absolutely could be a problem, and that's something that you fear, and they don't really have options. I mean, they just do not. I mean, they do not have those options. You saw there in the top of the 7th, Lance Lynn had retired 11 of his last 12, and then Rosario was safe after that Muncy error, and you saw just kind of short hopped him, in between hopped him, kind of goes on the heel of his glove, but that's a play that big league third basemen are going to make. And my big concern is those choppers down the line. The flashback I get, the nightmare that I have is Ha-Seong Kim with Yancey on the mound, the double down the line. I mean, that's a play, of course, is in there, and it could have been a strike in the previous pitch, and we understand that. But still, I mean, he does not inspire much confidence, so he's got to go and try to have some good moments, because he was grading out as a decent third baseman following the All-Star break, but you've seen a lot of big mistakes in big spots. I'm not going to lie. That is something that could be a weakness. That's definitely a concern for the Dodgers, is that third base defense, because, hey, a defensive miscue can cost you a game. I mean, we've seen that with this team. But Hurt we got to A+ For Hurt, that's from Justin Kim. Rich Hill was out there doing his best Kenley Jansen impression tonight. That's from WB. Yeah, I feel bad for my guy, Dick Mound, Mr. Rich Hill, out there pitching while he's on waivers. I mean, they had already placed him on waivers. So he's 43 years old, 13 teams. I love me some Dick Mound, but yeah, it just was not his night. But still, I mean, they don't even care. I mean, you have to kind of figure that way. But how about Kike Hernandez at shortstop tonight? By the way, he had a righty on the mound. I think it was good to see him out there and having success against righties. And Kike Hernandez, he's someone that you keep your eye on. I mean, it's Kike, okay? We saw Game 7. We've seen the 3 home run game in 2017. Game 7 of the 2020 NLCS, getting the big home run. And tonight, Kike Hernandez, he ends up going 2 for 4, and that's definitely a very, very positive development. You want to see him continuing to have success. You want to see him feeling good as the Dodgers approach the postseason. So that definitely was a positive sight. Anytime he's having success against righties, which he's had more success against those righties since coming to LA, they've kind of unlocked some things with his mechanics. So, yeah, give credit to the Dodgers hitting coaches and Brand Brown, RVS, and the gang there for doing that. But, yeah, I mean, if you look at the platoon options for this team, it's pretty strong. I really do feel good about it. I mean, with the Hayward, with Peralta, with Rosario, with Kike, I definitely feel good about that. So, yeah, it's definitely something that you want to feel good about. But, yeah, Lance Lynn tonight, like I said, once again, nothing that really changes my opinion, but still he gives up a couple home runs there, and you look at those innings and those pitches. I mean, that's kind of where you got to start. So for him, my big concern is you throw him in a postseason game and it gets away from him, and it'll happen in a hurry. I mean, he gave up the bunt, of course, by Grisham. That scored the run, and that was hilarious that they intend to go that route. And then Tatis Jr. I mean, top of the 5th inning, Soto, he struck him out swinging, and then Tatis Jr., first pitch, four-seam fastball. I mean, that was as middle as you possibly could make it. I mean, that was on a tee, and Tatis Jr., he crushed it. Then that was only the second run for the Padres team. They wouldn't score again after that. But, yeah, those are the kind of mistakes that worry me. They're the reason why I cannot trust him. So, yeah, I think for me, I need to see more from Lance Lynn to really feel good about him moving forward. But Kyle Hurt, really, that's the story. I mean, what more can you say than Freddie Freeman, someone who really had another MVP-type performance. Also, too, he's closing on Luis Arias as far as becoming a batting champion. I mean, he's getting close. I mean, Freddie Freeman, after tonight, so tonight was his 6th 4-hit game of the year, and he increased that batting average to 339. It's only 9 points behind Luis Arias for the NL lead. So it'd be great to see him win his first batting title of his career. Will it happen? I mean, that's a lot of ground to make up in the last few weeks of the season, but it's still something that's very possible, something that they should absolutely play for. Especially when we consider that we were talking about Luis Arias being someone who could hit 400 at the beginning of the season. But really, it's more about the extra base hits, getting those 55 doubles, 26 home runs. And, of course, Will Smith, he has 18th bomb tonight. But, yeah, tomorrow you got Ryan Pepiot going up against Blake Snell. And I think you got to definitely tune into that one to see, can Ryan Pepiot continue to build momentum, because he's looked outstanding since he's been back. But let's do some more comments, and I'll let you guys out of this one. So a couple more comments here, guys. But thanks for rocking with us as always. Covered a lot on tonight's show. We'll be back with you guys. Hopefully by tomorrow we'll be back. Guys, I trust in October. Phillips, Miller, Brazier, Joe, Hurt. So you already trust Hurt. That's by the way, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that, Brandon. And maybe Pepiot. I'm skeptical about Ferg, Kirsch, Bruzdar, and Vesia. Yeah, I think all those are fair. I think I respect the fact that you put Bruzdar there as far as the guys you don't trust, because yeah, as good of a year as Bruzdar Gratterall has had, and no one really talks about it as much because yeah, he's a bullpen guy, but still he has made a lot of strides this season, and he's just gotten the results. If you look at Bruzdar Gratterall's numbers, the results are there: a 1.34 ERA, but the FIP 3.15 ERA. Expected FIP 3.6. Strikeout numbers are still not where they need to be, but still the reality is he has had success. But in the postseason, the way he pitches, he pounds the zone with strikes, and the ball is going to be in play. And like you saw last year in Game 2 of the NLDS, what happened? He was on the mound, right? And Kershaw was able just to go 5 innings in that one. They gave him the pull on there, and then Brusdar Graterol, you get the Will Myers hit, and you get the Will Myers hit, and then Trey Turner has the air, right? If you miss bats there, you don't have to worry about the ball being in play. You don't have to worry about trusting your defense. My biggest fear is you got Brusdar on the mound, and he gives up a ground ball. It goes to Max Muncy, ends up as an error, and the inning starts to snowball. So, yeah, that's worthy of having. You look at the Jonah, I'm trying to work on the merch. We're working on some licensed stuff. If you go to gearup.la, we do have some merch. We do have tons of Dodgers Nation merch for sure. But Mr. Steve at Dodgers Daily Show did a great run that I've heard a couple months ago. It's not a surprise what he's going on now. I love Casey Port at Dodgers Daily. He's my guy. I'm always in communication with him, and hopefully I'll get him on the show again. But, yeah, I love me some Casey Porter. That guy, he knows his Dodger baseball, and especially at the minor league level. And I probably saw that one. But, D-Mac, what up? What up, my man? We got Matthew Padilla. Been a Dodger fan since 81. I'm just not spoiled like this generation of Dodgers fans. Matthew Padilla. Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that there's a team that hadn't been to consecutive postseasons, right? This is a team that hadn't had that level of success that they've achieved in this era. But we got Carl, 2 newbies worthy not putting on the postseason roster are Gavin Stone and Michael Busch. Yeah, Michael Busch, show me something, man. Show me. Where's it at? I'm looking for it. I'm waiting, right? Hurt or Grove? That's a tough one because I think Grove out of the pen, 98-mile-per-hour fastball, 12.6 curve. I mean, he found someone with that slider to get out lefties. That's tough. That's tough. We'll see how he looks when he returns, but that changeup tonight was nasty, kind of recency bias. Heat of the moment, kind of like me some Kyle Hurt. I'm a UCLA guy too, but still, fight on for Hurt. It's all good. I don't care what college you went to. If you can help my Los Angeles Dodgers win, I'm all for it. D-Mac, everyone is so bugged out about Lynn today. Yeah, I mean, look, they see the end results. They're probably fired up about it, but me, I'm not. But Mitchell Hopkins, D-Mac, can we have a moment of silence for the Padres division hopes? I saw they were officially eliminated. Mitchell Hopkins, that's definitely a comment of the game. Presented by our friends over at Hornitos. If you want the dub, you better keep the job. So I'm eating pizza. Mr. Seabad, come on, bro. We got... yes, a couple more. We've got another super chat down here. We got to 199. Today's my birthday. D-Mac, what up, Devil Charger? Happy birthday. You and Freddie Freeman. Happy birthday. D-Mac loves Vargas more than me. D-Mac, son. You're hilarious, man. But, you guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I appreciate you rocking with us here at the Dodgers. They get the dub 11-2 over the Padres. They continue. Appreciate you, David Sabatini, always rocking us from New York. Couple more here. Okay, here. I effing love the bruh comments here. Then you get one more. Bruh. Kyle Hurt, Eagles rockstar. Love all our young talent in the pen. Absolutely. But, yeah, Dodgers get the win tomorrow. You got the season finale against the Padres. It was supposed to be the series of the year between these two, but unfortunately, only the Dodgers held up to their end of the bargain. But see you next time, DK. I'm glad you came in here at the very end, at the buzzer. Glad to get you in. But thanks, guys. Also, I'm working on getting calls on the show. So we're going to have some callers pretty soon. Be on the lookout for that. That's going to be fun. Fire Dave Roberts, as always. See you next time, Carl. But, yeah, guys, remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Happy birthday again, Devil Charger. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on X and Instagram and TikTok at DMac_LA. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.